we've got a few franchises on the show. Nick's Tears. I call it the best segment in all of sports. The Bud List is the most motivating segment in all of sports. And, of course, Upset Alert is the hottest segment of all of sports. Today, we debut, for the first time, yearly, since you've done it every year for 5 years, but we don't have a name for it yet, the most interesting segment in all of sports television. Who has the most to gain from a Super Bowl? We're working on the title. Take it away.
Thank you, Wildes. Coming in at number 6, Andy Reid. So the greatest coaches ever are Bill Belichick, Chuck Noll, Walsh, and Lombardi. And then there's a group with Tom Landry and Shula and Gibbs and Parcells. Mm-hmm. With a win, Andy Reid enters that group. He is already tied for the second most playoff wins ever. He is 3 wins shy of 4th all-time in regular season wins. He's already in 5th place. He has now been to 9 conference championship games. He's already been to 3 Super Bowls. He's won 1. If he gets to another one, does it with 2 different franchises and 2 different conferences and 2 different eras, he comes in as unquestionably one of the 10 greatest coaches ever.
I like that.
Yeah.
Number 5, me.
Okay.
What?
It's very rare in sports media to hit what we call the superfecta. Preseason MVP, check. Preseason AFC winner, check. Preseason NFC winner and preseason Super Bowl winner. Some say it's never been done, but Chiefs over Niners, and it will have happened for your guy Nick Wright.
Okay.
And I told you the New Year's resolution was to be less humble. You better believe I'll be keeping true to that if we get Chiefs over Niners. Number 4, Jalen Hurts. He becomes the unquestionable top quarterback in the NFC. I don't know if you guys saw it after the playoff game on whenever it was, Saturday. His agent, clutch client, Nicole Lynn, tweeted out, anyone got a Brinks truck? He wins a Super Bowl. We're looking at $200+ million guaranteed because this is the summer to pay him. And it does set Philly up because of what Howie Roseman has done. If he wins Super Bowl, he's unquestionably franchise quarterback level. He probably is that already. They are set up for a real run in that conference. Number 3, Joe Burrow. He gets to become one of the greatest winners in sports history at this point of his career. To have the greatest college football season arguably ever, or the quarterback of the greatest team, I should say, win the Heisman, do what he did, go undefeated, come to the NFL, first healthy season in the Super Bowl, second healthy season, win the Super Bowl.
It's good.
It will match what Mahomes did in his first 3 years, but he has the better college resume than Mahomes by far. So for Joe Burrow, he becomes the face of the NFL with a win. Wow. Number 2, Patrick Mahomes. It would put him on, without a doubt, the GOAT trajectory. If Patrick Mahomes wins this Super Bowl, he will have accomplished more in 5 seasons than Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre did combined in 31 seasons. We can show it to you. He already has accomplished as much as what Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck did in 19 seasons. But he will have matched the Super Bowl appearances, have the same number of wins, and he will be batting 1,000 on going to conference championship games. So 31 years of 2 of the 10 greatest quarterbacks ever, or 5 years of Patrick Mahomes, get the same results. And when I say GOAT trajectory, if he wins, can he surpass Tom Brady? Well, I don't know. Here's what it'll look like. Patrick Mahomes gets to the conference championship game 100% of the time. Brady did it 64. If they win the Super Bowl, he will be in the Super Bowl 60% of the time. Brady just under 50. Oh, but he'll never get to 7 rings. I don't know. He'd be at 40%. Brady's at an unbelievable 31%. For both of these guys, we took out the rookie seasons because they didn't start. You would be able to have the real conversation, is he the greatest, not only most talented, but the greatest player ever? So why isn't he number 1? Well, because these next 2 weeks are going to determine the next 25 years of Brock Purdy's life. There is a chance Brock Purdy plays terribly in this weekend's game and is not even a starter next year. And he's just fighting for a job. There is also a chance that Brock Purdy plays well enough and they win the Super Bowl, and he has a Disney movie, he has a book deal, he's worth over $100 million, and he was from just off the field, and his name becomes not his name anymore. It becomes the go-to name as the sports Cinderella story. It becomes what Wally Pipp is, and how different named Ruthian. Could it be like Brock Purdy? It will echo for eternity. Or maybe he's just Trey Lance's backup next year. That's all that's on the line for Brock Purdy over the next couple weeks. So there's the most to gain from the Super Bowl here in a few weeks. And you go right ahead, Greg.
I like the entire list except number 5. Clear that. Come on, now. Like, get yourself off the list. But for me, I would add Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan, it would validate his genius. You talk about Brock Purdy being the number 1 person to have the most to gain. Well, a large part of that is because of what Kyle Shanahan has been able to comprise around him with 100%. All this skill guys and the scheme and all of this. Look, he's been to 3 NFC championship games, 1 Super Bowl appearance. He has not won the Super Bowl. One of the times that he was in the Super Bowl, he had a 28-3 lead as an offensive coordinator when he was with the Atlanta Falcons.
Sure.
Blew that opportunity because he got conservative in the second half. I'm sure he's mindful of that. This would mean a lot to validate who he is and how the regard of which we hold him in as a genius, one of the youngest geniuses in all of football.
Greg Jennings, as often as with the committee or with this, which is all just me, you are spot on. If this was 7-person list, he would have been 7th. If I, took myself off the list, which would have been ridiculous, he would have made it. If they win the Super Bowl, Brew, I think he gets a real claim as he's the best coach in the NFL. If you win the Super Bowl with a 7th-round undrafted rookie as your 3rd-string quarterback, you can claim you're the best coach in the NFL.
Possibly, but I'm with Greg. I think he should replace that guy at number 5. But Greg was soft on Shanahan. Look, he is obviously a genius offensively, very innovative. But when you look at the 2 Super Bowls he was in, when he was the offensive coordinator for Atlanta, and then when he had Garoppolo against the Chiefs, he blew those.
Okay.
I mean, his play against the Chiefs, they stopped running the ball when they were averaging 7 yards per carry, and they were up 10 with 7 minutes left, and they stopped running the ball. So that, and then of course the Atlanta, he blew that one too. So I think he needs this. He obviously has a great reputation and image, but that would help him. Look, the list, I do like the list, Nick, and you're right about Mahomes, but I'm going to move Burrow and Hurts ahead of Mahomes.
Really?
And here's why. I agree, and we've both said he could be the GOAT one day, and he does need to start racking up championships, right? So there's no doubt he gains from winning this. But when you win a Super Bowl,
your first
you're
one.
a made man.
Sure.
Right? Aaron Rodgers hadn't been to the Super Bowl in a decade, but he's a made man, so on and so, especially when you're the driving force.
Yes.
It's not like you're a game manager. So if Hurts or Burrow win the Super Bowl, they're made men. And I think Burrow I would have ahead of Mahomes because not only would he be a made man, all the things you mentioned, but there would be the argument, even though you and I would disagree.
Already happening.
There were a lot of people would put him ahead of Mahomes.
Yeah.
And then with Hurts, you mentioned the contract. So he delivers them a Super Bowl. I think they pay up.
Listen, I think in the vast majority of cases, the first Super Bowl is always more important than the subsequent ones. Mm-hmm. The reason I have Mahomes in a different category is because he is playing for this. Could I one day be the greatest football player to ever live? Go ahead, Wildes.
I'm going to add Christian McCaffrey and by proxy, all of the GMs in the NFL. Because if Christian McCaffrey, who's
this is good.
done a fantastic job for the 49ers, we can show you Christian McCaffrey stats, came in and not as, a little addition, came in, became a focal point of the offense. And if Christian McCaffrey wins the Super Bowl, that will be 3 years in a row that the Super Bowl winning team has added a huge superstar. AB joined the Bucs in Week 8. Odell joined the Rams in Week 10. Vaughn joined the Rams in Week 9. McCaffrey joined in Week 7. So all of a sudden, you sit back, if you've got a Super Bowl team, let's say next year, Super Bowl contending team, say, all right, what superstar can we get? Whether it's like a Debo insurance or another weapon for Tom Brady or to solidify your defense. And maybe it's the reason why the Chiefs don't win. They didn't go out and add anybody. Kadarius Toney's good.
They added Kadarius Toney and more Chiefs erasure because you could have gone back an extra Super Bowl because the Chiefs did add friend of the show Terrell Suggs. And if you want to tell him he's not a superstar, you can say that to his face. But I'm not going to be doing that. However, we have one finally. That's a great take, Wildes. Brew always says that the Bud list is inspirational and that I'm, dark and mean. And I thought about that and I was like, you know what? Brew's right.
Yeah, lean into it.
Most to lose. Depending on what happens. Quickly. Number 6, Dan Quinn. Why? Well, because of exactly what you guys were talking about. Shanahan and Quinn lost that Super Bowl together in Atlanta. But if Shanahan gets his back by going through Dan Quinn's defense and Dan Quinn's at home, number 5. Guys, it's me again. I've talked a lot. Guys, I'm fair. Good for the goose, good for the gander. I've talked all this trash. If it doesn't come through, you think I'm going to be whistling through the graveyard? And people are going to be coming for me. I put a lot on the line. Number 4.
Through the graveyard.
Speaking of trash talkers, Eli Apple. Ooh, yikes, buddy. Because whether you win or lose this weekend, he's not going to stop talking. And if the Chiefs beat him after everything, or even, can you imagine Eli Apple's Super Bowl week? And then if he gets roasted, Deebo Samuel power bombs him to the center of the earth, a la Chandler Jones to Mac Jones. Not good. Number 3. Tyreek Hill. The Chiefs have a better offense, more potent, more efficient, and win the Super Bowl. It would be like Wildes those 2 days Brew missed a few weeks ago, and their highest rated days ever. Yikes, it's gonna painful. Number 2, all I know is this. Josh Allen is rooting for the NFC side of the bracket. He can't have Mahomes or Burrow between one of either they both have one or one of them has 2 while he's sitting at home staring at his back-to-back AFC semifinalist banner. And number 1, let's be honest, Jimmy Garoppolo. If the 49ers win the Super Bowl,
we'd have 3
guys, I'm just telling you right now, it won't be he got Wally Pipped anymore. We'll say he got Jimmy G. He got, somebody came in, it was better, and now we all forgot about him. So, Jimmy G, I don't know who he's rooting for. I know it's not the Niners. That's the most to lose from this year.
You have 3 rings.
Okay, 3 rings. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
Like Robert Sacre's got a couple too. It matters a lot.
More first things first after the break.
Good job, man.
That was good.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.